Okay, hello everyone. I'm Lou Martin. Welcome to my podcast, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook group, which is also all called, here we go, Awakened Spirits Network. There it is. And we're just having so much fun. I don't know which way is up at this point. Here are my beautiful and talented friends, Ian Morris and Falyn Morningstar. And we want to say happy birthday to Falyn.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So Ian and Falyn have been working together, and Ian is a composer and Falyn is a healer and a health specialist. You have to help me out with that. Yeah.
Functional health.
They're doing great work together.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Functional health practitioner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So take it away, my friends. Let us hear from you, and then we'll chat about things. Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, so I'm Ian Morris, and I started listening to smile.com, and then along my journey, Falyn and I, we crossed paths divinely, and in that meeting, we created a lot of energy and synergy that helped us to go on to start some other companies. So under the roof of Listening to Smile, what we have is we have basically a media company that is working with a new podcast that is launching this coming, August. We're launching a digital magazine, as well as a record label for frequency-based artists, basically musicians who are conscious about the content they're putting out lyrically, but also the frequency and vibration, sacred frequency that they're working with in their music. So we have a record label hosting that. And then we also are combining the services of the podcast, the magazine, and the record label with the work of our affiliates. We're basically a music licensing company that creates music specially for holistic-based practitioners to use in their work. And it's all, deep meditation music, sound bath music, spa music, yoga music, all of that stuff. So we have upbeat, soundtrack for release work and healing, basically. Falyn is tremendous at guided meditation. She's tremendous at, helping leading groups into sacred space and containers for this ceremonial, type of work with sound. And then she's also contributing even yet another layer, which is the functional diagnostics nutrition practitioner. So she's helping people that might have the mental and the spiritual and kind of the practices in order, but having harder times with nutrition, physical movement of the body, things of that nature. So us coming together has really created a full spectrum synergy between the masculine and feminine, but also all the different modalities that are coming together under one roof. So it's been, a journey and fun times, to put together. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Falyn, do you want to add anything to that, hon?
Yeah, that was definitely a mouthful.
Well done.
So just to add to that, originally I got into the holistic or the integrative space from my own health journey. So I think to really start there, it was almost like I had these compounding health symptoms come up in my mid-20s, and it led me to discovering what holistic even means and discovering how I can really change my life by shifting a lot of my lifestyle. Because at the time I was working full-time in local government, going to grad school part-time. I had a certified personal trainer certification. So I was training people on the side. And then I was also like in the powerlifting and bodybuilding scene. So it was a lot of stress on my body. And we can certainly go into detail about that. But my point in mentioning that is because it's almost like we need these big wake-up calls to shift into that right direction. And it was like I was so disconnected from myself that it took that crises, right? This chaos to happen, for me to be like, okay, well, I need to trust how the universe is shifting me, even though it feels very painful and, just confusing. So I got into the functional health space, and that completely changed my life, to me getting a certification in that field, to then me opening a business to help other men and women to change their life, not just go after symptom to symptom, but really get to that root cause using these different lifestyle changes, these unique perspectives, and these, meditation, sound, bringing that in, somatic experiencing, and also the functional lab testing, to really see what's going on inside, and not just trying to test, or not just trying to guess, but instead test to help guide the boat. So
Great.
been beautiful. Yeah, it's been beautiful.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's so necessary. As we were talking earlier, that, the phrase from my guides and my channeling since 2020 is we're in a planetary healing crisis, and the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can start making these changes in our, lifestyle and our practices and where we put our time and energy. And wow, that's just really beautiful. The two of you are doing this work together. And I just want people to know you're also touring with your music and your programs, etc. So people that would be seeing this in the States, we'll send them to listeningtosmile.com for the information. But I want to make sure that you mention that your tour is coming up. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah. So since March this year, we've been touring the US. We've, I think it's like 25 locations already down that we've already done. And yeah, we've been, all over, from Texas all the way up to Vermont, went into Canada and down into Michigan, and all through New York, Pennsylvania, and, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. In August, we're going to be in Florida. We're going to be doing some spots in Florida. So it's around the Tampa and West Palm Beach areas, and expanding still, maybe be doing some in September. So just continuing, where spirit leads, when people bring an opportunity and it feels like it's in alignment, it's something that we look at seriously. We really love doing this work in front of people. It's a very experiential. You can talk about what we're doing, but until someone really experiences, it's hard to really explain the power, that is created in these events, between the listener and the exercises and the music that we're doing it, and the way that it's, we bring in surround sound speakers, subwoofers, lighting. We go through creative writing exercises, breath work, intention setting, and go through a lot of somatic exercises. Falyn leads them on, before we get to the sound bath portion. And it's very normal that people are crying, laughing. There's tons of movement, of stagnant energy. Wow. So it's just been, so that's basically what we've been doing most of this year, is touring and bringing it to the people, right? Taking it to the streets, as the Doobie Brothers said, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Bringing the church to the people rather than waiting for the people to get to the church. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Well, I hope I get to experience it sometime. Yeah.
I was going to say, if some of the audience wants to check out just different locations of where we've been or how these events really look, they can go to listeningtosmile.com, and under the music tab, there's a Sonic Soul Mission that goes into detail of what we've been up to since March.
Great. I'll just look at that one. Okay. Soul Mission Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me also say, my friends, you have a spectacular website that you've just redone, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really beautiful, with tons of information. So while we're just talking about that, Soul Mission Sonic Meditation Tour. That's great. There are the dates. God, look at all this. That's a huge effort, man. That's incredible, you two. Mercy. June 27th event. That's happened. August 24th, Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you've done about 24 events so far, I'd say.
Yeah. And we've
Yeah.
done some online events and things that have been
Mhm.
really fun too. So yeah.
Right. And you'll do more online events in the future, one imagines.
Yeah. We're going. We every month we try to create some type of online event. We one of the ones that I think you would be interested in, Lou, is called Harmonic
Yeah.
Hearts. And it's actually the mixture of one of our albums and mini courses that we have, which is basically exercises for couples to stay connected with meditation, breath work, and different exercises with the sound, of the sound healing FMM, frequency minded music record. Right. But then we also brought in a human design expert that we all three come together. Falyn is providing her FDNP, functional diagnostics nutrition, knowledge. Anton is doing the human design work and showcasing kind of the connections with archetypes and kind of things that people go through in their lives. And then the sound portion with frequency. And we do that. We try to do that every quarter with the human design. So it's like we bring together people, they get to learn, and then we do breakaway groups where they get to learn more about things with Falyn, things with me with frequency, and then things with Anton with human design. He actually does readings live for people in the groups, and it's a hour and a half event every quarter, and it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
We've had 2 so far, and from just this last one, a lot of people enjoyed it, so we expect even the next one to be even better. So I think, again, we want to portray of health being this multifaceted approach, and really all of what we're sharing is just information for you to observe and to help integrate, for you to move along as harmoniously as you can in your journey.
Yeah. Well, you're not leaving anything out as far as I can tell. Mind, body, spirit, everything gets addressed there brilliantly. And that's really exciting. I'm thrilled to hear about all that. I mean, you two have so much going on. Again, just looking at, I want to just mention people can find your music on Spotify. And I told Ian I was listening to it yesterday and had a really beautiful power nap. And woke up feeling fantastic. And so that was great. And I was listening to one of his artists, Tennille Bentley, and her CD, Elma, ELMA, which I was also really blown away by. And so I'm just, thrilled to be invited to be a part of this great healing and music and consciousness project. And as you said, you've got so much going on here. Before I go down the list, I want to make sure that you talk a little bit about I mean, you have 152 albums of original music. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. I mean, that's just simply staggering, incredible, and so inspiring all at the same time. And so if I'm explaining it, Ian, you'll correct me if I miss something. So what Ian's done in his vision of, his work as an artist and as a healer and teacher is he's created all this library of healing music, which is on Bandcamp. And I've gotten my code here to talk about being an affiliate and promoting their music with what I do and how all that works. Ian's very generously made that possible for me. And it's not the first time he's done that, I want to tell you. So I appreciate that very much. But so there's this library of music, and you can license it and then use it for your healing work, your guided meditations, your channeling, whatever you like. And so in this way, Ian is both making the music accessible, making it reasonable for people who want to use it professionally, and also has a system where as you become an affiliate, then you also benefit from the income that comes in for people using the music. Close?
That's correct. Yeah, you did a great job. Yeah, so
that's great.
Yeah, just to kind of elaborate on what you said. So basically every month we are creating an album that's in alignment with the Vedic astrology. So we look at the collective energies coming in. Falyn and I sit down. We also have an astrologer that we utilize, that we come together and we pick body organ frequencies, planetary frequencies, and chakra frequencies that help to illuminate, you know, the more playful energies, and we want to help dissipate some of the heavier, denser energies that are coming in, you know. And so by doing that, we're creating something that I think is very relevant to that time, like the now, you know, for that month and what's going on. And then it's neat because as a practitioner, you get access to this music that is new. So if you're working with someone in massage or chiropractic or some kind of energy work, you're able to have new music every month that you know is in integrity of the frequencies and that it's in the same aligned values of what you're doing in your work. Everything that we make is for release work and healing, and it's that's the intention of, you know, why we're creating this. So you're not dealing with things that have lyrics that are not in alignment with what your target focus is, right? And then there's also a lot of instrumental music, so that if you would like to do a guided meditation or to use it in a commercial or to use it on, you know, a reel like social media, you would have the license as an affiliate to utilize the music like that. So now every piece of content that you create is now monetizable. And now you can also, it opens up to where you can create your own products like guided meditations or courses, or you're able to utilize it, like I said, and monetize every piece of content that you're creating. So it's just, I think it's important to say that I would say a good 85 to 90%, and that's very, you know, I think reasonable to say practitioners are breaking copyright law. And what that means is a lot of people feel like if they buy an album that they should be able to use it in their practice commercially. That is incorrect. That's not true, right? So you bought it for yourself, personal use. When you cross the line is when you start taking money from people doing a massage and you're using someone else's music in that massage. And I, you know, a lot of people don't like hearing that, but I think it's important to say because, like, if somebody took your channeling, Lou, and they used it in a way that they didn't ask for permission, or they were getting money and you were not getting something from that, it would feel very unsynergistic in that exchange, right? And so what I constantly tell people is if you want to have people deal with you in integrity, you have to deal with others in integrity as much as you can. And sometimes that might be challenging or frustrating. You know, everyone's on different paths and different vibrational energies, but the main focus is that you want to be compensated for your work, and so do we, and so does everyone else. And so we've tried to create a model that was not only respectful and honoring of all of those times and energies, but also would actually compensate people for spreading the word. Like if you were to tell someone, hey, I think this music would fit really great and also protect you with copyright infringement, and they were to sign up, you actually are getting a kickback from that because we're saying thank you. We call them gratitude payments. Thank you for spreading the word. You didn't have to do that. It's not something that's required of you, but if you do, we want to make sure that you're compensated for that time that you're investing in it. And that's the way we view the whole program all the way down the line. I think some of the best advertising and most synergistic advertising is word of mouth, where people are sharing it because it's something that inspires them. So we want to really prioritize that and compensate that because it's something that we really believe is crucial for a business to thrive.
That's right. That's well said and beautifully thought out, my friend. And, you know, it's the, it's the answer, you know, as we've seen how streaming, you know, both in music and, you know, films and TV, you know, has made some people extremely rich. And everyone who's out there working day after day, recording and shooting these things, not so rich, you know, and this is a way to try to gain some balance. And as we were saying, you know, go on.
I just want to say one thing. So the Spotify founder is worth $4 billion, basically. It's just short of $4 billion. And he's telling artists and musicians that he cannot pay them royalties, right? And so they've even made a new law, decision at Spotify where basically they're saying if you don't get 1,000 plays, they're not going to pay you at all. So it has to start. Compensation starts at 1,000 plays now. So if you have 989, streams, you're not getting anything for that, which I think is ridiculous, right? So for me, when people say, how can I support you? It's not on MySpace. I mean, not on Spotify, and not on
Yeah.
YouTube, and not any of those things. If you want to really support what we're doing, Bandcamp, I think, is one of the most independent and easy ways. They have a free app. So if you buy anything, you get a free app to listen to everything on, or you can actually
Right.
download it to your computer and own it, which I think
Yeah.
is really great. If power goes out, you can still listen to your music. And if you have Wi-Fi, shoddy Wi-Fi service, you still can listen to your music. So we're very much a strong supporter of what Bandcamp is doing at this moment with, how they're supporting musicians.
Yeah.
So but I think like it's important that I don't think a lot of people know that for an artist on Spotify, you have to have 1 million streams to make about $2,800 US.
It's insane.
Which is totally crazy. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you're fighting the good fight, and I'm happy to support that. Believe me, shifting the paradigm in all directions. Okay. Well, you've got the podcast, you've got the magazine, you've got the music, you've got the record label. Pick any of those you'd like to talk about next, my friend. Yeah, they're all important, I'd say.
Let's have Falyn talk about the magazine
Yes.
and kind of what we're doing with the artists, musicians, and practitioners all coming together under one roof, and why we're doing that.
Yeah, so as Ian mentioned, the magazine is actually going to come out next month, and really the purpose is to help, obviously, networking. It helps to expand the communities that, me as an individual or Ian as an individual are reaching. It'll 10-fold or 13-fold, however many more reach that will get. And the whole purpose is to support the creativity, support art, and like Ian mentioned, musicians and even holistic practitioners, to kind of bring them under one umbrella that, again, it's this multifaceted approach to to basically healing, like a new paradigm of the world. And that we're going to have writers that contribute on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, and talking about a specific topic, or promoting some of their unique and beautiful offerings. And then we're also going to have advertisements, or just companies that help to sponsor the magazine, because they really believe in getting these messages out there and how unique it is. It's not just, I don't know if you've ever heard of, was it Natural Awakenings?
Yeah.
Natural Awakenings is a magazine that really focuses on holistic practitioners. So we're really even expanding that envelope to include these musicians and include more creativity and that type of realm.
And I think it's just really like, if you look, like we've talked about this before, Lou, like, artists and musicians and healers are all pulling from that same divine energy. They're just utilizing it in different ways or perspectives. And when it comes down to it, we all need butts and seats, like, to just be frank about it, right? Everybody needs supporters for what they're doing to be able to bring it out to the world more. So if you look at it, we're all pulling from the same energy, and we're all needing the same things, which is supporters of what we're doing, so that we can continue doing this and bringing it into the world. And so I think what the main reason that we talked about doing this was just really, when you look at the world, I can't tell you, in the last 2 years, a lot of my friends that have just been diehard musicians and artists have said, oh, I'm going to quit doing what I was doing. I can't keep it up anymore. The charade of all that it takes to do it. And I think it's like, it's so disheartening to see people defeated in the soul mission of what they know they're here to do. But it's that fine line or tightrope that we're walking between the capitalist, lifestyle and capitalism, and like maintaining the balance of self and honestly what you're here to do. And, we know the powers that be are doing their, damnedest to make that even more challenging, as these last few years have gone about. So I feel like these kind of pushbacks from the other end need to happen more. And I think people like you're consistently hosting these shows and bringing people to people's awareness, and you're kind of putting it there daily and weekly for people to see. And I think we're wanting to do the same thing, but we're just wanting to combine the music, art, and healers all in the same space and like join that fight with what you've already been doing for years. And I think it's just time that we start really showcasing and focusing on the things that we want in the world, and not just like, well, what's the WEF doing now? You know, oh, here they go again, right? It's like, so it's like, instead of focusing on that, we can just say, well, man, have you seen what these guys are doing now? And so I think the more people that can come together and push back in a way that's with love, with music, with art, with wellness, with, you know, just informing people with energetic, you know, sprinkles of, you know, of positivity to keep things moving forward.
Yeah. Amen, brother. I'm with you 100%. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, we had a great meeting a couple nights ago about the everything, including the magazine, and I'm very excited to be working on that. And also I'll be involved in the podcast, I believe, with you good folks. And I'm looking forward to that. And we talked about touring. Well, let's talk about the record label for a moment here. How did, you know, thank you kindly. Ian Morris is the first person who's given me something like a recording deal in this lifetime. So my 10-year-old self, who was singing to the Beatles, has finally lived to see the day. So it's very magical. I'm very excited, and the other folks in the group that you have so far all look just amazing. So go ahead and tell what the record label's about there.
Yeah, so there, in the last 4 years, especially, I've been doing this for 9 years. Bringing the monthly albums to the to people in the affiliate group. The last 4 years, especially, there's been a lot of musicians asking, like, how can I do what you're doing? And like, oh, I wish I could learn how to make frequency music, those types of things. And so what we're doing is putting an offering together. Musicians that are looking for an outlet for their frequency-based music, we have, basically what we're doing is we're giving 70% of the profits directly to the artist. The other 30% goes into running the label. So we have some help and assistance, to do the day-to-day tasks and promotions. But basically 70% of the proceeds is going to the artist, which is unheard of in the music industry. Yeah. And then the other part is that we're giving them an outlet and a home with other musicians doing the same thing. So we're creating that platform for like-minded, people, and it's completely free. As long as it's in alignment with what we're doing and it falls into the branding of what we're doing, we're open to new artists. Now, people who need production help, recording help, licensing help, us doing that portion, there is a fee, to be a part of it and to do that side of things. But we're still open to, working with people, creating albums. We have other musicians that are working with me. So we have the ability to produce albums from everything from folk and rock to hip hop and new age, type of music. So we have a lot of different options, to do. And so it was just, Falyn and I started talking, and we just felt like it was time to bring a creative element to people and give more variety instead of just my music and what I'm creating with the label. This label is opening up a lot of other licensing opportunities where my affiliates can now license the record label for them to use in their work, and the record label artist will receive compensation for that as well. So it's opening up new licensing opportunities. It's creating more revenue for them, and it's giving them a home where they can all house their music and be with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. So
and even you don't have to be musician to be on the record label, right? Like practitioners, we're also trying to bring in that crowd. We have a couple of people that are coaches that are working with high high up CEOs of, positive affirmations with listening to smile music or frequency music. And so it's not limited to just like, well, I don't really have this singing voice, or I can't play guitar or different instruments. So it doesn't necessarily matter, but what matters is you're bringing your unique perspective into these guided meditations too.
It reminds me, Lou, you remember the times where they would open up NASCAR and let just normal people come in and drive the NASCAR for a day? And it was like a camp.
No, you have me there, Ian, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. And you've seen it with like basketball camps and stuff. Like people could pay money and come play with Michael Jordan and do those types of things. And I view this as like, how many people have sat around and said, man, I wish I could be a rock star. That would be fun to do that stuff, right? So this is giving coaches and practitioners that have had some type of desire to put their, either positive affirmations, guided meditations, different, offerings onto like
poetry.
A poetry format, spoken word. Any of those types of formats can then work with our label. And what they'll do is they license a track from us, and we can also create new tracks, custom tracks. And then they would be able to put together their own offering. And it's something that we're bringing all the worlds together under the record label. And I feel like it's going to be beneficial for all involved, for the people in the business world and the practitioner world that are doing this. You're bringing an artsy creative element to your offerings. And with the artists and musicians being aligned with these professionals, you're bringing your music and your content into a whole nother arena, and for it to be looked at a different perspective. So it's.
I also I want to add that we're not just talking about music that you might hear on the radio or on a specific album. Like, this is frequency minded music. So we're bringing in science of how to really change the vibrational currency between lots of communities and variety. So I think that's something very different and pivotal. It's not just a record label, but it's based on these healing vibrations.
No, that's very important. I mean, Ian's asked me to get a tuner so I can do my guitar in the solfeggio scale. Is that right, or something like that?
Yeah, 444, A equals 444 or 432. Those were like the two tunings that we love the most.
That'll be fun. Oh my gosh, it's just how good can you stand it? There's just so much that you've brought together here, and it's been building. The fact that you've just come off a 24 city tour, and now you're starting this, it's just like you guys are on fire over there. It's so exciting. It really, really is. And Ian, you were showing me what I've called the 5D record sleeve a couple days ago. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. So we're going to be, LTS records, listening to smile records, and it's going to, basically be the tagline is basically saying where sacred vibration and sound meet the creative soul, right? So it's basically, that's the tagline, but we're also going to be considered the home of the interactive PDF, which is basically, imagine a scavenger hunt, an escape room, and a crossword puzzle all put together with a creative, artsy environment. And basically that's what our liner notes and record sleeve, equivalency would be with this interactive PDF. There's hidden content, there's hidden links, there's password protected links that they will have to find by scavenging the document. There's a trail, there's videos, there's clues and little hints along the way, but basically it gives them access. They could spend, $15 to $40 on these releases. And when they get the document, they get their digital downloads, but they also get this art that's interactive that they can work with. And if they actually spend time with it, there's a lot of resources in there, from mental health, free mental health care from artists and musicians. There's links to grant monies that are available to artists and musicians. There's other organizations like Heal List and Save the Artist that we're working with, that we're linking to. But there's also content of videos and movies and music and art that they can download for free in what we call these stashes. And in every interactive PDF file, there is 3 stash 3 stashes that they will be able to have access to find some really interesting inspirational content. So and
Yeah,
I should say all of this is being delivered wrapped up in the artist that they bought. So if they bought, Lou Martin or Moody Black or Tennille Bentley, it's going to have a bio and pictures and more intimate details of the artist. So it's like a full encompassing, supporting of the artist and their content and their liner notes and their history and information, so that we're really connecting the listeners back to the artist directly.
Amazing. Amazing. I've never seen anything like it. That is the truth. I'm just thinking, I wish I could call my buddy Peter Gabriel up over at Real World Records and ask him to write a check for us, because I'm sure he would get the vision of what you're creating there. That's just really fantastic. And I also want to say, since you mentioned it, HealList is a great group that I'm connected with, thanks to you. And that's like a resource for like 500 different teachers and healers and practitioners and all that. Falyn, you're on that as well, I think, right?
I am. Yeah. It's been a game changer for, booking clients and having the ability to connect with them, because you can integrate Zoom. Payments are integrated. So PayPal and Stripe, there's not an additional fee that HealList takes out. So it's a direct, payment link for yourself. You upload any services that you can provide to the public, and it's just extremely seamless. And it's almost like you have your own website basically, and so for such a small amount of money per month. And the partnership with HealList and Listening to Smile is a 20% off. So anybody that's interested in having a professional account with them, they can use the code all caps LTS to receive 20% off of their monthly membership. And if anyone is a potential client looking for healers on that platform, you can certainly set up a free personal account. And there's many different modalities on there, and it continues to grow. Yuli, the founder, has been really beautiful, and just her energy that's putting towards the business and how she's marketing it. So it's growing really wonderfully.
Well, I think I needed to hear all that, because I didn't get that from the meeting, although the Zoom that I was on with you, which was really wonderful. And I still do want to interview Yuli as well. So that went right to me, my friend. So thank you for all
Awesome.
That's very helpful. But what I want to say here is also that, to Save the Artist and HealList and other groups, the community networking, to me, this is really the cutting edge of things right now. Spirit talks about the old ways are falling apart and the new ways are going to be built up within them, and activism and community consciousness and, people helping people, I think that is absolutely where, our energies are going to go more and more. So that you're networking and creating a space for all of that is just really exciting to me as well.
Cool.
So
yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because like we were saying earlier, you were talking about your grandma being in hospital, and I was sharing my story and whatnot. And, the structures of the old world, we'll call it, they're really set, and they're doing their thing, and they have their belief system, and we might like some of it and not agree with all of it. I think that's the safe statement for everyone at this point. And so it's like, we're exploring the uncharted territory of what's on the other side of it. You went through your own healing journey, Falyn, you were sharing about that as well. So this is how we look for our own solutions, and then we're creating structures and resources for people to help find their answers as well. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how, Listening to Smile came to be, because Ian had his own, very challenging couple diagnoses that came up that he's overcome to then push him into the direction of this frequency minded music. And even, just to comment with my grandmother being in the hospital, we brought headphones for her, and we're actually playing the pain relief album that is a really top seller for those with, PTSD or those recovering. So she Was it just the Pain Relief album? There was another album that we
Power Nap.
It might have been Power Nap or something like that. And she was absolutely loving it. We have her on. She was actually in the ICU, and we were just doing our best to support her energy of just like we did Reiki with her and using the music, and she was just loving it. Her arms were waving as she was kind of like in the bed, and the nurses came in. Her doctor was like, "What is she listening to?" Because she was just loving the experience.
Her arms are waving like this. Is it?
Yeah. Yes, and she was just going like this.
I was like, yeah, okay.
It was amazing. Yeah. So, it just goes to show how much music can really transform you. And she lit up every time that we would come and, anyone would visit her. And it really is about the energy of the vibration that you hold and how you're interacting with people. So this music is just such a big tool to enhance yourself, but also, you're reflecting the light that you are to other people.
Yes, beautiful, fantastic story. That's great to hear that. And what I want to say now, Ian, is I would like people to know, that you play every instrument when you record. That I mean, your musical gifts are without any limit as far as I can perceive them. And you and Stevie Wonder are off in your own world, doing your thing. It's pretty amazing. So can you say a little bit about how you found music and what music has meant to you in terms of your own journey and your healing journey and all that?
Yeah. My dad was a musician, and I was really lucky that he subjected me to so much different music. He really liked Frank Zappa. He was really into Frank Zappa, and so and then he was into like Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Yes and all of these progressive bands, but he was also into a lot of music from Appalachian, roots, and he was into Bob Dylan and James Taylor and John Prine and just tremendous bands, right? And also like Weather Report and Tower of Power and Spyro Gyra, and just, I was subjected to so much music, right? That it was just there was no limit to the music that I was subjected to. So I just grew up thinking that was completely normal. And when I got into, junior high and high school, I realized that people were more like concentrated on certain styles. And so for me, I think I started off playing in punk rock bands, then went into metal bands, then got into cover bands. And then I started playing with I would say post-classical trios and things, like playing with world instruments and cello, violin, stuff like that. But then I got into making beats and got into hip hop and new age kind of music. And so I just have, there's just been so many evolutions of the genres of music. And I think I've just been really blessed that listening to Smile is honestly the place where I can make pretty much anything that I want. I think punk rock and metal might be a little off, but everything else that I pretty much want to do, I can pretty much do under this umbrella, and people, my affiliates and the world has accepted my creative outlet. And it's just been, I think, one of the most inspiring things is just creating it out of a place of intention of release work and healing and just heart and authenticity and uniqueness. And for the most part, everything has always been accepted. And I think that it's just a full circle from growing up with all of those albums and being subjected to so much different music. It was all preparing me for what I'm doing now, which is just music of all spectrums and gambits, just everywhere. So yeah, I've just been really fortunate to be able to do that. And I play about 28 instruments. Everything from Native American flutes and hand pans and, singing bowls, didgeridoo, gongs, guitar, bass drums, keyboards, any kind of hand drum I just really love. I mean, just tons of instruments, the yuchen, the peepaw, Chinese instruments I really love a lot. So, Fantastic.
Just incredible. Falyn, how do we keep up with that? Is all I'm asking.
I don't know. I only used to play the guitar, so I can't compete with any of that.
Okay.
But
Well,
you know, I think we are going to maybe expand my area of expertise, because I every time I listen to a song that, I don't know, it makes me feel a certain way, I always get goosebumps on my body, and
yeah,
so I have
yeah,
like this
Connection.
sensitivity or connection to sound.
sure.
So it's just beautiful. Ian said in the beginning that this relationship is divinely appointed. And, I heard of Ian on a podcast myself, and, just the
Wow.
relationships continue to expand from there. So
Right, right.
who knows? I mean, maybe you have a partner in this, like, making music thing. So
Well,
we'll see.
But
yeah,
no, I was just gonna
brilliant. Go
say,
on. Go ahead.
don't let her fool you. She's got a degree in business administration. She's got a master's in environmental engineering. She has records in weightlifting, like as a bodybuilder
Wow,
and weightlifter.
wow.
And she's just very diverse and well read on all the subjects, and just her knowledge of the human body is just ridiculous, So
Wow.
I think we all have talents in different ways, and I think that's the purpose of the magazine and the podcast and the record label, is bringing all of these people together to share
Yeah,
and to connect people. When you're doing this work, it oftentimes feels like you're the lighthouse in your community, because there's
yeah,
not a lot of us together in the real world. A lot of us know each other through the internet, right? So we're really
right.
fortunate for that. But in a lot
Sure.
of communities, we constantly hear, just even on this tour, there's no one like this around me. It's very lonely and very, because and so we're like, but you're the lighthouse. You were put here to bring
Yeah,
this to this area, right? But I think it's
right.
important to consistently connect those people together so they don't lose their spark or their fire, because it can be a lot of responsibility to keep that spark going. And because there's a lot of times that the world, it does fall on deaf ears, and so now we're
Sure,
just cranking it up. We're like, turn it up, man.
Yeah.
sure. Good. Beautiful. Well, and Falyn, it's great to know all those hidden gifts and accomplishments.
Thank you.
Full respect for you. You're welcome. Yeah. I mean, I feel like all of us have been preparing our whole lives for what's next.
Yeah.
And, as I said, the divine timing of you inviting me to be a part of all this great work is just thrilling, and answered prayer. And, really excited about it all, because people are, really poised collectively to start, looking for these spiritual and artistic resources and community resources. As you were just saying, you're leading the charge out there, seeding the field, you could say, and empowering people and saying, well, if you're here today, you're one of these people in your community because you're getting it. And there are people out there that don't know it exists and don't know there's something to get. So yeah, we just keep cheering each other on. And, but I think it's about to hit, the big time. I think it's about to really explode into people's awareness, how powerful we all are truly, and that we've been, programmed and cast a spell over, to not believe that or not trust that. I mean, my quote, Ian, is John Lennon says, every child is a genius until somebody talks him out of it, and I think that's true. And so we're just all wanting to help people remember we have these abilities. And if we can support each other, as you're doing so beautifully with all this great work, then people will find that voice within themselves to trust their dreams and desires. And, we're going to create a beautiful new world together. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, well said.
What else? Is there anything I haven't touched on here? I mean, it's quite a great list. What you were sharing with me in the 5D PDF and all that was, that there are, we were talking about this the other day, once you get through the doorways of the puzzle, you've got a beautiful list of artists, videos, and spiritual teachers videos, Yogananda and Alan Watts and Ram Dass and people like this, and Dali and Jean-Paul Basquiat, et cetera, et cetera. So it's there are all these wonderful resources, and you're doing an amazing job in creating new ones and supporting the ones that exist already and bringing it to people's attention, like you were mentioning this film, The Institute, that you want me to take a look at, etc. And I'm sharing you links from YouTube, etc., and all of that. So yeah, it's just getting very exciting. I'm just so thrilled. What do we want to go on?
Well, I was just going to say that Falyn and I have an age gap between us, which has been in the beginning. It was something that I think that we both were, I think she was skeptical of dating someone older like me. And I think I was definitely skeptical of dating someone younger like her. And in that friendship, that was the common bond, was the friendship. And then the friendship, basically bringing illumination to these other sides of us that opened up these other possibilities. But in doing that, there's a lot of times where Falyn, I think, helps me not be as jaded from all the stuff in my life that I've been through. And then I think also there's things where I'm able to help her see a different perspective, which I wish I would have had when I was younger in a lot of ways, have that kind of friendship that was more of a mentor navigating those in those ways. And I think that there's a lot of times that I'm even caught off guard because there's I call her little guru, right? So she basically is constantly bringing things to me to look at differently. And the reason I'm bringing all that up is just to say that generationally, like for me and you, like Alan Watts is kind of like a foundational piece that, you have grown into other things even beyond that. But a lot of the generation her age and below have never even really explored Alan Watts or Ram Dass in that way. And I think that it's important, like a lot of times people talk about music and it's like, we can't talk about anything groundbreaking or revolutionary without going back and giving props, to the past of what made it, made this this way for us. And what I mean by that is like Falyn and I were having this conversation where I was talking about my computer, right? And I was saying without this piece of equipment, there's so much that I wouldn't be able to bring to the world: graphic design, movies, documents, music projects. All of these 152 albums have been done on 2 Mac computers, right? So it's like you think about those pieces, but what I go into more is like if you expand out, like in those old time travel movies where it shows you this happened and then this happened, and it gives you that kind of timeline breakdown. You start thinking about the people who developed the software, the operating system, the recording software, and so you start looking that this music I'm creating is tied to thousands and thousands of people, not just the creative inspirations, through music and art, but also the hardware and technology and all of the things. So like when I say this is my music, it's very broad because I am helping bring it forth, and Spirit is helping me, bring this in. I'm helping it form and move into this world. But if you don't give thanks to all those people that were responsible for this right now, me being able to create this product, there's literally thousands of people who I'm standing on the shoulders of to make this possible. And so I think it's just really important to remember that. And I think that's what I'm trying to do in those documents is little by little give people these little sprinkles of things that they may or may not know about. And hopefully it inspires them,
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Goodness.
There's a lot there.
I think say again.
I was just saying there's a lot there in this entire episode. We definitely covered a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I'm delighted. I think we did a very good job. All things together. So listeningtosmile.com is the website. And then you're on Bandcamp. What's the address for that? Listening to Smile Bandcamp.
www.listeningtosmile, the number 1. So listeningtosmile1.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
And that's the albums. And then if they utilize the code LlMARTIN24, they will get 20% off, and then you will get 20% of that as a gratitude payment saying thank you. So it's supporting all of us, and they're getting a piece of content that they're able to utilize at home.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for that beautiful, beautiful gift, Ian, because that's a win-win situation. If people like what I do and are interested in what you do, then I can help them to connect with you and get introduced to your music and your work with Falyn here and everything that you guys are doing together. And then we can all support each other and make more of these wonderful resources, and on we go from there, which is brilliant. And you have YouTube and Instagram. I'll put all these links with the post here. Is there anything else we want to make people aware of?
Yeah, I think Falyn's website, so FalynMorningstar.com.
Very good.
And Falyn has on her website where people can set up and do discovery calls with her.
Great.
So people that are interested in health, she mostly works with women, but she'll, she's open to other things, but she, to working with men as well. But it's basically, there's so much there. I think it's just, exploring the website. She has a very cool website too. And so, yeah, just having that there, I think would be good for people to check out.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as I said, you just redid your website, which is really gorgeous. And, there's just so much information on here. Do you have an email list on your website? I haven't even looked.
We don't, but if they would like to be on the mailing list, they can just email info@listeningtosmile.com.
Okay, I'll include that. And then you're on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those you can just look Listening to Smile on YouTube. We're Listening to Smile Music, and on Instagram we are just Listening to Smile. So you can find them that way.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, my friends, they have a lot to look forward to, as do I, and I am nothing but grateful to you both for your time here today and all that you're doing and to be a part of it. I'm truly honored.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. I think we've done it once again. Yeah, well done. Have a great night.
Okay.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My love to you both. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there and we'll carry on and see what happens next. How's that sound?
That sounds good. Thanks, man.
Take care.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.